You bored stiff? Do you need that adrenaline pump pushing in quality animation with an uplifting story to dream big with a killer soundtrack to boot? Then let me get you my thoughts on a little movie called GOAT.
Goat? You're too small.
My mom told me if anyone could change the game, it was me. And I want her to be right.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller.
We chilling in the penthouse. We chilling in the penthouse.
Hey!
You guys ain't gonna believe this place. We got a TV on the toilet. Even has a remote. Unsanitary, but it's cool. Stop. Bad toilet.
Roots run deep! As you can tell, I am psyched to talk to you about this movie today because the geniuses that brought you Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse brought you this movie, and it's just absolutely beautiful. GOAT follows the aspiring story of Will Harris, a goat who is trying to fulfill his dream of one day playing in his city's floorball team, which is their version of basketball, let's not get it confused. And as you can see, they are called the Thorns. I had to rep it for a reason. Eventually, through a lucky viral moment with the rival team's star player, he's snatched up by the Thorns and he finally gets to play with the player that inspired him at childhood, Jet Fillmore. But as he begins, Will starts to realize that his dream is being diminished for the sake of financial gain and wavering support, plus his childhood icon is pretty much only out for herself at this point. So here are a few things that I think will make you sit up from your coffin when it comes to GOAT. Now, I saw little to no advertisement for this film, but as I walked out of it, I was insanely motivated. I don't know what it was, but while it doesn't have anything new when it comes to that underdog type story arc, which we've seen countless times in different stories of sports teams wanting to be the best and they're all a bunch of underdogs who can't really beat the professionals, Will's determination in this movie is something to behold. It's a little beast taking on big beasts, and unfortunately he has to also wrestle with coming to be a player that he knows he can be while also trying to regain the spirit of the team, while his icon Jet is really struggling to come to terms with the fact that she's nearly at retirement by this point, and she's determined to get a claw trophy, which is basically like the film's version of NBA championships. There's a really good struggle battle between her and Will near the end of this movie, and when it comes closing together, it's perfect. On top of this, the animalistic comedy hit all the time with me and my crowd when I went to go see it. And I went by myself, but there was at least several families in this, one of which had a baby, which was dead silent throughout the whole thing, which was a really good bonus on my part, but it was just, if the baby is also glued to the screen, that's also a good sign of a really good kids movie. They were just laughing throughout. There's little puns in there for adults as well, which make it even best. And one of them comes from Mr. Wayne Knight, who lends his voice back in another basketball-themed movie. If you've seen Space Jam, you know who he is. And of course, we can't go on about this movie without referencing the story is partly inspired by one of its producers and voice actor in this movie, which is Steph Curry, the Golden State Warrior legend, who pretty much did for the three-pointer what Jordan did for the slam dunk. Will's character is largely follows his style of play, as well as Steph Curry's rise into the NBA, which, if you're not the biggest basketball fan, you won't get these sort of like references. There's not many people apart from Steph Curry that are NBA related in this movie, but there is a lot of like really good star power in this movie. Ones that I hadn't heard of for a while. I referenced Wayne Knight a minute ago, but there is also like other people that I couldn't believe that was actually in this movie until I looked up the cast. Again, going in completely blind sometimes helps your enjoyment of a movie even more. But this just scratched such a basketball itch, which I haven't felt in a while. I used to be such a huge basketball fan growing up, and I fell out of it for a little bit. But this has rekindled it. This has rekindled a lot of what I loved about the game. Even though this type of game, which is called Raw Ball, is much more it's much more deadlier than basketball, but everything in this movie is just straight in your face. If you've watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, you absolutely know what I'm talking about. Everything just lands, and it just gives the film so much personality. I love that about this movie. I was like really clenching my seat at how good it was, even though the story can be quite simplistic, but you completely forget all of that. It is such a thrill ride throughout. The animation is obviously top tier. Every different court has got like a different type of theme. The hometown of the Thorns, for example, is set in a vineyard type of place where it's more like jungle-esque type. There's a polar land. There's also a volcano land, which I'm guessing you can tell where it comes up in the film, but there's just so much to love with this movie. I can't praise it more than enough, because I don't think there's anything you would want to sit down in your coffin with this movie. Some may think the simplicity of this movie might put it a little bit lower tier, but I think it just works completely, because everything in this movie just pumps you up. The music, the games themselves, and the determination of Will's character trying to battle it out with his team and trying to get them good enough to where they can actually finally win a championship is just really good. It just works with every sports movie. Then I gotta mention the soundtrack. It also really helps. It really helps your enjoyment of this movie if you like this type of music. If you do listen to it, the best song on the entire album is called Mention Me. It plays at the right moment and everything will just get you pumped all the way to the end. It's so good. I can't praise this movie enough. This might be a very short review, but I just absolutely adore this movie, and I'm going to pick it up on like the best 4K type of quality you can ask for, because the guys who do the Spider-Verse movies and this movie they're appreciated, and it's very, very flattering that Sony put in their trailer for the movie that this is for the artists. That is a big up from Sony, especially during this AI slop fest that we've been getting recently. Now, sure, the towel might have enticed me again to also go for this movie, but I cannot tell you how much I love this movie. It's such a thrill ride. I can't praise it more than enough. But have you seen GOAT? Let me know with your comments down below, and I do hope you're not bored stiff now. Head on over again, subscribe if you're new, and we will have another movie ready on the coffin table. Roots run deep, Ghost Thorns!